at the very beginning last year. He won his first couple races. Then ran, I think, in the Fountain of Youth, was it? And then came back and won the
He did.
Jim
He
Dandy.
did. In the Fountain of Youth, he really tore his quarter as bad as I've ever seen it. So that set up a kind of a series of foot problems, and then we finally got it going pretty good. And then when I ran him in the Peter Pan, he actually shed both frogs, which it just was one of those things that I had trouble with feet. So I tried to get him back as good as I can for Saratoga, I think, to Jim Dandy. But he wasn't really at his best. He did run third. And after that, we decided he just wasn't right, I think. And we turned him out for 90 days, and he still wasn't quite. So we gave him another 30 days or whatever. And finally brought him down to Palmettos, and just with a little time, and he just started doing better and better and better. So he won his first race back. Then might have run him back a little too soon here at Churchill. On a one-turn mile, he kind of got bumped around a little bit, and didn't run his race. Gave him a little time, and then he was able to win the Monmouth Cup and then the Saratoga race.
Yeah, and his last two races, he's been on the lead. What is his, when you say run his race, what is his race?
Well, I think his race is just getting good position and just getting it steady. I do think the mile and a quarter last time, I think when in Monmouth, I think it was a mile and an eighth, but he was able to get there and then fight off a good challenge, So I think he's got a pretty good pace to him, I think it helps him going that far to get a good position. His earlier races, he ran 7/8 and then a mile and what have you, but on his race back was 7/8 too, and he ran a good race. I just think his best race, I think, is a mile and a quarter and with a good position. This race seems to be, I think there's going to be a couple horses that are going to be in front of him. So I think everybody in there is going to have to adjust, probably to Authentic and Maximum Security. They're both going to be probably, both of them will probably be trying to be up close to the pace. And they're pretty fast horses, so I think, we're going to have to hopefully get a good position and hope we can outrun him. That's all.
He's come from off it, but it was
Yeah.
one turn. But you're confident that that's not going to be a problem for him.
I think he's as talented as anybody. I wouldn't say in there. I don't know, but he's a very, very talented horse, and I think he's just coming to where he could really show it. He's always had the talent. He's kind of been his own worst enemy with grabbing himself and what have you.
So is that a true when horsemen say no hoof, no horse? Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and it's hard to. It's something that it takes time to get it better, and then he's kind of got always it's always there. You just got to keep letting it go, working on it. He's not a good-footed horse, but he is a real talented horse.
Did you come into his 4-year-old season thinking Breeders' Cup Classic, or even thinking Breeders' Cup perhaps at none of Breeders' Cup
We're
races?
just thinking about getting him back and to establish them. Our main goal, always felt, he's got a very, very good pedigree. The mare only had 3 horses and she passed away. They were all stake horses, and by Curlin, with his talent, I've always felt he needs to be a stallion, and the Woodward kind of solidified that, to win a Grade 1, and because the other graded stakes are great, but you really need to win a Grade 1 to in today's market.
You mentioned his pedigree. He's by Breeders' Cup Classic winner
Yes.
Curlin, out of a mare by Breeders' Cup Classic winner AP Indy.
Yes.
So
So he's got the pedigree to do it. Now he just has to outrun a couple of those others.
I mean, have we seen the Woodward was a great race. It was a smallish field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do we know how good he is? Is it hard to say? I mean, how much more is perhaps there?
Yeah, no, I don't think he's seen the best of him. I really don't. But in all probability, this will probably be his last race. So, but I think he's developed a lot since last year. He had some things as a 2-year-old, didn't make the races, but he sure showed a lot of talent last year, and this year on his comeback, he's really, I think, put him up where he belongs in a race like this.
How excited is Kevin Plank about him?
Well, I think Kevin's very excited. Now they've sold a part interest. Now Windstar owns a pretty much controlling interest in him.
Who sold him? Right? Did they breed him? They sold
They
him.
bred him. They stayed in, and we bought him in the sale, and they stayed in for a third. And then since that time, they bought the stallion rights and bought a little more of the. And I think they're 50-50 on the racing.
So you're about 3 years maybe into your unretirement from training.
I guess it's been going on 3 years.
Yeah, and just put in perspective, then being in the Breeders' Cup Classic with a live contender.
Yeah, well, it's obviously very exciting. I just didn't really I never planned on training horses again. I just kind of went in. A friend of mine took over as president of Sagamore, and trying to build a stable, which we did. But and now, since other circumstances, Kevin has decided to sell out, which we've sold most everything. About the only thing he has left, a couple fillies going in fall and global. So he's basically out of the business. But I know he's very excited about this.